Hi everyone, my name is Pavitra V, Department of Chemistry. Today we are going to discuss a topic called column chromatography. I have given you so many images here. See, first the column looks like your burette itself, but your burette is graduated, but the column is not graduated. So it looks like the burette. So if you are using a stationary phase and a mobile phase, stationary phase is not in a motion, whereas mobile phase is moving continuously throughout the stationary phase. In this, we are taking stationary phase as a solid and a mobile phase as liquid. In the stationary phase, we have considering a formation or the usage of silica gel. We will use alumina or silica gel generally to make a column to fill a stationary phase. The mixture or the components present in a mixture we have to separate is taken in a mobile phase, and the mobile phase is poured into the stationary phase. See, at the first it is black in color. After continuous pouring the mobile phase, the layers or the components is separated like this. The component is based on their principle of adsorption is eluted in a order. So these are the images to explain column chromatography. First we will discuss what are the components present in a column chromatography. See, this is the solvent and this is the mixture of components which is poured with the mobile phase, and this is the adsorbent or a stationary phase. Here stationary phase is nothing but adsorbent, and we are using a glass wool, and this is a plug. We will explain it clearly in the next slide. See, first, what is chromatography means? It is the term used to describe a separation technique in which the mobile phase is carrying the mixtures caused to move the contact with the selectively adsorbent stationary phase. So, it is the separation technique we are carrying out in the laboratory. There are number of different kinds of chromatography, in which today we are discussing about column chromatography, which have different mobile phases and stationary phase in usage. So when we come to the column chromatography, it is discovered by an American scientist or a chemist, D.T. Day, in 1900. M.S. Sweat, the Polish botanist, it is actually a group, in 1906 used the adsorption columns in his investigations of plant pigments. For plant pigment investigation, he started this technique as a column chromatography. See, at the beginning we are introduced a mixture of purple color. After undergoing the column chromatography process, it is differentiating like a blue and red. After sometimes it is moving like this, and it is red is eluted first and the blue is eluted next and collected at different beakers. See, column chromatography is one of the most useful methods for the separation of purification of both solids and liquid. This is solid liquid technique in which the stationary phase is in solid and mobile phase is in liquid. The important concept is its principle. Adsorption is the principle. Mixture of components dissolved in mobile phase, MP is nothing but mobile phase, is introduced into the column. Components moves depending upon their relative affinities. Okay. See, column chromatography. Adsorption column chromatography, the adsorbent packed in a glass column and the solvent, the mobile phase that moves slowly through the packed columns. The solvent used as a mobile phase is called eluent. Here mobile phase is called eluent. See, this is the apparatus setup for a column chromatography. We have used a ground glass joint, that is in order to store some solvent. If a solvent is not supplied to the column will break. So we have to continuously pass the solvent in order to keep a healthy or useful column. If once the column having any air gaps or any cracks, then the column is wasted. So it cannot be used for the purpose. So this is the sand or a silica in order to protect the silica gel. When we add a mobile phase, the surface of the silica gel or the stationary phase may disturb. In order to avoid that, we will use a sand layer, and this is the column of silica gel. This is the cotton plug we will plug because to prevent the escape of the silica gel, and this is the stopcock. Okay, this is the appratal setup. Column chromatography. A compound attracted more strongly by the mobile phase will move rapidly through the column and elute from or come off the column dissolved in the eluent. Okay, this is called eluent. See, if the component is more affinity towards mobile phase and less affinity towards stationary phase, elutes first. Okay, if the component having less affinity towards mobile phase and more affinity towards stationary phase is elutes next. Okay, this is the important concept of adsorption principle. In contrast, a compound more strongly attracted to a stationary phase will move slowly through the column, that is eluted next or the last. Okay, column chromatography experimental aspects is given as adsorbents. The usual adsorbents employed in a column chromatography are silica, alumina, calcium carbonate, calcium phosphate, magnesia, starch, etc. Alumina is generally suitable for chromatography of less polar compounds, whereas silica gel gives good results with compounds containing polar functional groups. Okay. Next, we will move to adsorbent in column chromatography should meet the following criteria. The particle should be spherical in shape and uniform in size, so that it will have a uniform cavities or the gaps in between in order to move the mobile phase, so that there will be a equal or a continuous uniform velocity of mobile phase. Stationary phase. Mechanical stability must be high. They should not react chemically with either mobile phase or the mixture we are taking. It should be useful for separating a wide variety of components. It should be freely available and inexpensive. It should be little bit cheap. The particle size of commercially available grade is in the range 50 to 200 micrometer. This is the range. Okay. Selection of stationary phase. It is also same as adsorbent. Success of chromatography depends upon proper selection of stationary phase. It depends on the following. So it should removal of some of the impurities, number of components to be separated, length of the column used, affinity difference between components, quality of adsorbent used. Okay, these are the selection of stationary phase. Then we will move to the mobile phase. They act as solvent, developer and eluent. The function of mobile phases are as developing agent to introduce the mixture into the column. So we are taking our mixture in the mobile phase and we are introducing it to the column. The developing agent, it is once again repeated. The removal pure components out of the column as eluent. Here we take a mobile phase more volatile in nature, because in the eluent we have mobile phase along with our component. In order to regain our component after separation, we will evaporate the mobile phase and we will get the component. Next, in here the choice of solvent is depending on the solubility characteristics of the mixture. The solvent should also have successfully low boiling points to permit ready recovery of eluted material, that is our component. However, polarity as seen the most important factor in adsorption chromatography. Different mobile phases used in increasing order of the polarity. Say they have given some of the examples: petroleum ether, carbon tetrachloride, cyclohexane, ether acetone, benzene, toluene, esters, water, etc. It can be used in either pure form or as a mixture of solvent. You can mix it and you can use it. Okay. Column characteristics. There should be some characteristics to be a column. The main function of all columns is to support the stationary phase. Of course, the material of the column is mostly good quality neutral glass since it should not be affected by solvents. An ordinary burette can also be used as column for separation. Column dimensions length and diameter is given in a ratio 10:1, 30:1 or 100:1. Based on our usage or based on the number of components we are taking to separate, we will use the length. So whatever the length, the diameter is always 1 unit. Okay. Next, the length of the column depends on number of components we are taking to separate, types of adsorbent used, quality of the sample, affinity of compounds towards the adsorbent used. For better separation will be obtained with a long narrow column than short thick column because number of plates will be more. Okay, we can easily separate. Next, preparation of column. How we will prepare means, it consists of a glass tube with bottom portion of the column packed with a glass wool or a cotton wool may contain asbestos pad, okay, above which adsorbent is packed. After packing, a paper disc kept on the top so that the adsorbent layer is not disturbed during the introduction of sample or mobile phase. You can use a paper disc or a sand layer. Packing techniques, we have two types, dry packing and a wet packing. Dry packing is you are not introducing any water to that or any solvent. Air bubbles. The main demerit of this dry packing is air bubbles are interrupt the mobile phase and the stationary phase. Some cracks may appear. After filling, the tapping can be done to remove voids and spaces. You will put some solid into that column and you have to tap it slowly, and the solid will be settled inside the column without any void and spaces. Next one is wet packing. It is ideal for and commonly used technique. The material is slurried with a solvent and generally added to the column in proportions. So stationary phase settles uniformly and no cracks in the column of adsorbent. Solid settle down while the solvent remain upward. That extra solvent can be removed from the upside, okay, using a cotton plug. Next, introduction of a sample. See, this is the sample we have introduced. You can see it in the image with the mobile phase. See, this is the at the third image you can see a sample is introduced, and we are continuously pouring a mobile phase and it is moving along with the mobile phase in a stationary phase based on the adsorbent principle. See, at these images the separated components are collected at two different beakers. This is the chromatography technique. See, what are the applications where we can use this column chromatography means in the separation of mixtures of components, purification process, isolation of active constituents, estimation of drugs in formulation, isolation of active constituents, determination of primary and secondary glycosides in digitalis leaf. It is actually a type of leaf or a decorative plant. Separation of diastereomers. Diastereomers are nothing but they are not mirror image to each other and they cannot be superimposable. This is actually a stereochemistry aspect. Next, we will study what are the advantages of column chromatography. As we know, it can be separated and all, and automation is possible. That is, you can apply it to other techniques and other fields. Disadvantages is it is little bit time consuming, so you have to use more amount of mobile phase, so it is wasted after the completion of the reaction and it is little bit expensive in nature. So this is the drawback of this column chromatography. It consumes lot of time to separate the components from a mixture. So as the advantage, it can be used as a separating technique and also a purification technique. You have a wide choice for your mobile phase. So this is column chromatography.